Have you ever stood in a garden center just staring at a mountain of mulch bags and felt totally lost? Well, in this explainer, we're going to turn you into a mulch detective. We're going to uncover all the secrets to telling the good stuff from the bad so you can protect your plants and, let's be honest, your wallet too. So let's get started.
Seriously, we've all been there. You're staring at this wall of options, and you're just wondering which one is actually going to help my garden. It's a bigger deal than you think, because picking the wrong one, it can do a whole lot more harm than good.
And believe me, the stakes are really, really high. You know, good mulch is basically a superhero for your garden. It makes the soil healthier, it saves water, it keeps weeds down. But bad mulch, bad mulch is a total villain. It can secretly dump toxins, weed seeds, and even literal construction garbage right where your beautiful plants are trying to grow.
So how in the world do you tell them apart? Well, we're going to use a super simple 3-step sensory guide. You're going to learn how to see, sniff, and squeeze your way to the perfect mulch. Think of it as your new secret weapon for the garden center. Okay, first up, the visual inspection. This is your quickest check, and honestly, your eyes alone can spot the most obvious red flags before you even think about pulling out your wallet. When you know what you're looking for, the difference is night and day. Good clean mulch should have pretty uniform, natural-looking wood chips. The bad stuff, on the other hand, well, it gives itself away almost immediately. You might see shredded plastic, nails, weird colors from painted wood, or even chunks of old plywood.
All right, let's move on to what might just be the most powerful detective tool you have, your nose. Seriously, the smell of mulch tells a hidden story that your eyes could miss completely.
Trust me on this one, your nose knows. If it has a healthy, earthy smell, kind of like a forest floor after it rains, that is the ultimate green light. But if you get a whiff of anything sour, like vinegar or a sharp chemical smell, that's a huge warning sign. It's screaming that something went very wrong while this stuff is breaking down.
And that sharp, vinegary smell? It actually has a name. It's called sour mulch. It happens when the pile decomposes without enough oxygen, and that process creates acids and alcohols that are literally toxic to plants. The low pH can basically pickle the delicate root hairs, burning them right on contact. If you smell that sourness, just walk away.
And now for our final sensory test. This is where it all comes together. It's time to get your hands a little dirty, or at least, poke a hole in the bag, and actually feel the difference between a quality product and, well, junk.
Good mulch should feel just slightly moist, and it should crumble pretty easily in your hand. But if it feels slimy, or super dusty, or like it's going to pack down into a hard mat that water can't even get through, you've found a low-quality product.
All right, we've gone through the sensory checks, but now let's dig into the deeper truth. What is your mulch actually made of? This is where things can get a little tricky and, frankly, a little shady.
You have got to be careful with vague labels. A term like recycled wood sounds great, right? Eco-friendly. But it can be a sneaky catch-all for ground-up shipping pallets, construction waste, or even old pressure-treated lumber that can leach nasty things like arsenic right into your garden soil. No thank you. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of the dyed mulch debate. The color itself, which is usually just iron oxide or carbon, is generally safe. The real danger is that companies use that dark dye to hide really low-quality contaminated wood.
So, if you happen to prefer the look of a colored mulch, here's your cheat sheet for telling the good from the bad. A quality dyed mulch starts with clean wood fiber. The bad stuff is often just splintery, recycled junk with dye slapped on top. You might even be able to see little flecks of old paint or glue mixed right in.
Okay, let's put this all together. Here is your final rapid-fire red flag checklist. These are the absolute, no questions asked, deal breakers.
Let's start with your eyes. If you see any of these things, nails, plastic, colored chips that look like they came off an old piece of furniture, anything that looks like ground-up construction waste, just put the bag down and walk away. It is not worth the risk.
And for the smell test, if it smells like a chemical plant, like old paint, or just plain sour and rotten, it has no place in your garden. Trust your nose. It's trying to protect your plants. And really, that's the bottom line. Becoming a mulch detective isn't that hard. Taking just a few seconds to see, sniff, and squeeze before you buy is the single best thing you can do to protect your garden and save yourself a world of frustration later on.
At the end of the day, the health of your garden really does begin with the choices you make at the store. And by using these simple checks, you're not just buying a bag of mulch. You're actively building a better, healthier, and happier home for your plants to thrive in.